Hey MGTOWs, this is Vincent. Haven't made a video for a while, sorry. Boy, these things are really small, but man, they're tasty. Seedless too. Man, those are good. I just thought I would quickly touch base with you guys and cover a couple of things, because it's been a while since I have made a video. As you guys know, that earlier this spring I was having massive problems with my left knee, especially. This may sound like a commercial, but this stuff fixed me right up, along with those super expensive arch supports. Basically, this holds like it carries something called undenatured type 2 collagen, right? The theory is that your cartilage in your joints, when it gets kind of like damaged, it can leach cartilage material into the joint, and that causes an immune response. And then your immune cells come in and they attack that leaky stuff, and then on top of that they attack your regular cartilage. Then your joints swell up and you get all really sore, and then eventually, if it goes undiagnosed or whatever, the cartilage can just go away completely, and then you need some kind of artificial plastic cartilage or something. Bad news. But basically, this stuff has the same stuff in it, and what you do is you take it when you go to bed, right? And then it basically attracts those T cells, those immune cells away from your joints, and then they attack, or they gather around the stomach lining to attack this the stuff in this tablet, and that draws it away from your joints and gives your joints a chance to heal. And it is working. I am very happy with the results. I can walk around without limping at all now. I'm not exactly feeling like I'm 20 again, but for a 50 plus year old guy, I'm doing all right. Okay, second thing I wanted to cover is basically, you know that I'm sort of into the preparedness mindset, as well as the MGTOW lifestyle. But the thing is, it's a great addition to anybody's lifestyle if you got room to store stuff like this, because the prices of this soap that I like is basically, it stays roughly the same over at Sam's Club, but they've done the what they call what do they call that, where they decrease the size of the product, so you end up having to buy it more often. Those fuckers. But anyway, my older stock is 4.5 ounces, whereas the newer stuff is only 3.75. And it cost me probably the same. I haven't actually checked the prices, but the old ones are clearly larger. And the thing is, when you buy this stuff ahead of time, if you've got rooms to store it, prices never go down, right? Not in an inflationary environment like this. They either go up or the product shrinks, one or the other. And if you've got room, and if you got the spare cash, because basically our wages aren't going up for shit. So if you've got room, man, I'm all in favor of just creating a backlog of several years, on the shelf, and then just draw. And then when you shop for some of those things, you just shop out of your pantry, and then put it on the shopping list and buy a new one and put it in the back of the stack. Now, of course, I certainly could store them more neatly, but the truth is that I am still using this older Irish Spring, whereas the newer stuff, which is smaller and a bit effectively more expensive, that is on the back of the shelf. And then as the product gets smaller and as it goes up in price, I am still using the product that I have bought at a cheaper price. I'm an old survival podcast guy, and basically it's really handy to. Basically, that guy, his name is Jack Spirko. He puts out a method of lifestyle that he calls the prepper lifestyle, and it basically is it's just a lower stress, more stable life. And when you add MGTOW on top of that, dudes, you have got just this perfect freaking low stress, massively stable, just awesome, just perfect, easily gliding lifestyle that you don't get any lines on your forehead, and you just have low blood pressure. And my blood pressure used to be borderline high. I mean, really close to where it would be considered high, up to the point where the doctor was about to put me on, he was saying, well, you're really close, so I should put you on medication. But I said, am I actually high? And he said, well, no, not technically. Well, in that case, no thank you. Two reasons. If you're on high blood pressure medication and you have a commercial driver's license to drive like a tractor trailer rig or whatever, you then have to have what they call a DOT physical, right? To see if you are, to make sure that you're medically ready to drive a heavy diesel truck, right? And if you're a mechanic, you absolutely need to be licensed to drive them. but basically, if your medical certification expires, you end up having to, you're illegal to drive, right? So, and in fact, at my job, if my medical card expires, I can't. I have to go home until I can get that thing, and then it's like what they call an unexcused absence, and bad things are happening. If you get enough of those, you get fired. And yeah, they don't play around with that shit. But the thing is, if you're on high blood pressure medication, your card has to be renewed every year instead of every other year. So that's money and it's time that I didn't want to spend. So I said, nope. But anyway, just as time went on and I eased my way into the prepper lifestyle and stopped watching Alex Jones, man, that guy had me thinking that a nuclear bomb was going to go off. And I was like really freaked out all day at work one day. Luckily, that truck is EMP proof. So if we had an EMP from a nuke, it would still go. But let's hope it doesn't come to that. But although that car, of course, it would most definitely be a boat anchor. It would be useless after an EMP. I'd have to replace all kinds of things. But with the truck, I would lose my electronic compass, my radio, anti-lock brakes, possibly the charging system. I mean, the voltage regulator. Probably not, though. That's a really robust circuit. So chances are I'd be okay. Well, as okay as you can be in that situation. But that guy, Alex Jones, had me so freaked out that, man, I thought that we were going to be nuked, and I was about to dive into the pit if I saw a big flash. And then I said, no, I can't handle this anymore. So I shut the guy off and switched over to what they call it, a guy named Jack Spirko. He runs the Survival podcast. And, that is a much better way of prepping, because it actually improves your life instead of just having you freaked out all the time. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. Okay, that's the second thing I wanted to cover. A third thing I want to cover is if you have something broken and you can fix it yourself, that's just like free money. For example, this Toro lawnmower, you would start it and it would die. I mean, you'd start it up and it would go and then die after about maybe 5-6 seconds. I did a little research and found that the carburetor jet is probably clogged. So I pulled this little screw out of the bottom The screw that holds the carburetor float bowl on is also the jet. So basically, I emptied the fuel tank, pulled that carburetor float bowl down, and sure as shit, it was clogged. And I used a sewing needle and unclogged it and blew it out, popped it back together, put the fuel back in. Runs like a top, dudes, and it's free. Second thing, another mechanical failure occurred with my truck, and basically I can crank it and it will hardly even start until I actuate the priming pump, and then it will start. Funny thing was, after I diagnosed this, that guy who's into permaculture that I am subscribed to, the guy who did my permaculture design on my property here, which I need to implement, he was having the same problem with a front end, with a big backhoe that they call Toothless Rex over at Paul Wheaton's property in Montana, and he called for technical support. And then sure as shit, it was the same problem. So I suggested that he get a new priming or a new fuel transfer pump, and but anyway, priming it was enough to get it started. I purchased this morning a fuel transfer pump for my truck, $125 with the gaskets and the little hose and all that good stuff. Man, heck of a deal. Whereas this would probably cost $600 or $700 if I just took it to a dealer or a shop and had them do it for me. So that's, every time you can save money like that, that is just a perfect addition to the MGTOW lifestyle. Every time you take money out of the system, you are weakening the system and making yourself stronger. And as it is, everything is set up to pull energy and life and work and effort and time out of our lives to subsidize freaking Big Red and all of her ilk and all the welfare and the single mothers and all that stuff. But every time you do something like this and you can save like several $100s, man, that is the way to go. It's just like a body blow to the big huge elite bankers who own freaking everything. And it makes you strong. It makes you like $500 or $600 more powerful yourself. Then you can put that money into silver or bitcoins and enjoy the increase in that wealth. And then the time may come when you could actually retire, maybe go expatriate, as I'm thinking about doing, and moving to like Belize or one of those Central American countries, and just eat mangoes off the tree for breakfast and go snorkeling in the afternoon, jet skiing, and then yeah, good times. That's the life. But I'm already living the dream. Basically, you know, you build your lifestyle as time goes on, and you gain time and you gain wealth, and basically your life is more powerful, and fewer drains are allowed on your energy and your time and your money. And basically it's just, I can't even explain it. It's just a vastly better way to live. MGTOW, as I always say in the comments, I always say about MGTOW is just a better, lower stress, more peaceful, more stable, and vastly more prosperous way to live. It's just the way to go. Man, if things could have been so freaking different. So many of those guys I know at work are paying maintenance or child support. One guy over in the body shop side of my shop, his wife threw his ass out, and she didn't work, and he has to pay what they call maintenance, but what it really is alimony. God, she threw him out, and he has to pay. What the fuck? It's enough to make you freaking angry. So I'm just enjoying my weekend. Now, I know it's Tuesday for normal people, but when they closed down my department and I had to move off to that other department at work, um, I just saw that there was a spot open with Tuesday and Wednesday as my weekend, right? And I could have taken weekends off, but there are a lot of guys who are married and they have families and they have kids they want to see, and so I said, man, I don't need the weekends off. I'm single. No, nobody I know really like. It's not really important for me to have the weekends off. So I took Tuesday and Wednesday, and now we do have a couple of holidays on Mondays coming up. So I'll still get my 3-day weekends just from the other side. So, and it kind of, I like to look out for fellow men if I can. So, I think that's about all I wanted to cover. Yeah. MGTOW being a better, lower stress life. Save the things that, like, buy more of what you're going to use or eat anyway. Because the price never ever goes down, and our wages sure as fuck aren't going up. And fix things yourself if you can, and that'll save you money and put money in your pocket. And when you have money in your pocket, that's capital that you can apply to your lifestyle and buy into investments that are kind of off the wall compared to most people, and then you can get better gains. And as MGTOWs, we can afford higher risk with things like Bitcoins, as I did, and just rake in a greater profit. And if you lose the money, there's no one to bitch at you about it. For example, when I was begging everybody to buy Bitcoins last year, the price was like 210, 205, 230, something like that. And now they're just around $600. Like, they're bouncing just above 600, maybe a little below, and then a little above, that sort of thing. So give it a year, I'm sure we're going to be over 1,000. And beyond that, it'll, all I need is a price of about 9,500 or so. And that's really all the money I'll ever need as a single guy, So hopefully I'll just be able to retire early. Good times. And I don't have an extremely overspending wife to make that impossible, because if I was married, there's no way I could retire on that. Okay, guys, well, I just thought I'd touch base and go over a couple of things, and I'll let you go. Later. And, don't get married.